Hey ladies and gentlemen, it's the Duke of Disputation, Steven back again, and I just wanted to hit you guys right upside your head with some breaking news here. It seems like MLW has decided to part ways with Teddy Hart, like a mutual split between the two of them. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Everything's still breaking and developing, and I'm not no Dave Meltzer or anything like that. I'm just reporting what I see and my groups or whatever on Facebook and whatnot. But there is a YouTube channel if you are into the scandalous. It's not like a scandal type thing. Well, not yet anyway. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, and I don't know what the hell you're really going to get out of it other than like vlogs and stuff, but it is pretty scandalous so far, which is, if you go on YouTube, look up Ted and Maria's Unfiltered Adventures. So you got Maria, who was already kicked off of Instagram, you know, quite like me, getting kicked off of Facebook all the time. Maria got kicked off of Instagram, excuse me, not Instagram, but Twitter. Twitter banned her because she said she was going to eat another person. She is the man-eater. And, you know, so they banned her off of Twitter like a bunch of cowards. So she, for the longest time, was doing Instagram, like sticking to Instagram, and then she did have her vlog series on YouTube, but I only just now recently realized that they've been dating. They have quite a few videos on there, 20-30 minute videos. Like I said, if you got some time to watch other people's stuff and you're into that kind of stuff, you're into the what do you want to say, the real life celebrity stuff, like, yeah, that's your ticket, man. Go ahead and watch some of that stuff. That's pretty interesting. I haven't watched, like I said, a whole lot of it. I scanned a couple videos. It's pretty interesting. I mean, it's Teddy Hart and Maria Manic. You know, a lot of it's shoot stuff. A lot of it's, you know, I'm gonna talk about this. When you get Teddy Hart on a microphone or on a video, that man is gonna cut a promo either way. So it's like, yeah, well, you know what you're getting into. So, like I said, at Teddy Hart and MLW part ways. There's a lot of stuff up on that YouTube channel. Go ahead and check that out. And yeah, that's where we're at to start off this Friday morning. And hey, welcome to the Duke's Dive.
Yay!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Duke's Dive here. Just wanted to let you guys know this weekend we'll be heading up to Altoona, Pennsylvania, Building 2, 1000 Howard Ave in Altoona, for the Legacy Clips show. It's going to be a good one. Just wanted to let you guys know about that. Check them out on Facebook, Eclipse Wrestling. They got all their matches up there. Freaky Doyle versus Max Morrison for the Legacy title. Jamie Sentinel will be in action. Joey P, the Prince of Purchase. And I think it was the Stat versus Tyler and Chris Klein. Lots of stuff up there. So if you're in the area this Saturday, come and check it out. The Duke's Dive is going to be uploaded earlier than what it normally is for a change of pace here. And I'm covering, drum roll please, and I will be covering All Elite Wrestling, which I will start right now. AEW Dynamite, December 4th, 2019. I had watched this through, not the TNA app, but Xfinity On Demand, and I don't know if it was Xfinity On Demand that made it weirder, that you couldn't fast forward through the commercials or anything, but I have it set up now to actually record, so I don't think I'll have to worry about that too much. if I need to use it for future Wednesdays if I don't record on time or if I don't watch on time. But I digress and digest. We started out with the Young Bucks and the natural Dustin Rhodes versus the Inner Circle, which was Santana and Ortiz and Sammy Guevara. Dustin kept up with these guys. Dustin Rhodes kept up with these guys. It was really awesome to see him and just how well he did keep up with them, putting on almost a Young Bucks-esque type of maneuver set. It was really cool to see. He was wearing tassels and everything, and hitting Canadian destroyers. It was really cool to see him in this element. But Santana gets the Billy Jack involved and clubs Dustin while the referee's back is turned. But he only gets a 2 count out of that. The Bucks and the Dustin win with I think it was a double Meltzer driver there. I do believe it was a double Meltzer driver. Which then we went into the next match, which was a very good one. Ray Phoenix versus Trent Beretta. Loved how the commentary just tells you exactly what's going on with the wins and the losses, and if you're not catching up or following up with everything AEW, with the vlogs and the All Elite Wrestling and All Elite vlog, it does a good job of letting you know that, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross do a good job of letting you know, what's been going on with the company, who the person won against, who they lost against, and explaining the win-loss record. So I thought that was pretty cool. Instead of just plugging the WWE Network or the next pay-per-view mindlessly, or tiptoeing around what words to say and what words not to say, and we're not in a... Anyways, I'm way off topic, and it's late. So, this was great. I love Phoenix's Tiger Feint kick to the top rope. He was facing the turnbuckles on the second rope, facing up towards the top rope, and he did a Tiger Feint kick into the turnbuckle. Ray Phoenix did. Ray had an awesome running. Oops, here we go. He ran across the top rope. I thought that was awesome. Then he dived off the top onto the apron. Or like a diving foot stomp from the top rope onto the apron. I thought that was pretty neat. But he did win with a Mexican muscle buster. And then the two brawled after Ray refuses Trent's code of conduct in the ring. But I think this was all on picture-in-picture, which I'll get to that throughout this podcast, which I don't really like picture-in-picture. And I'll explain that why. Next up was Cody Rhodes, having a little bit of a promo or whatever. First of all, he had an awesome entrance. But he comes out to say he feels like everyone around him isn't around when he needs them. He actually plugs Beyond Wrestling, which is really cool. Calls out Butcher, the Blade, and Bunny. Says that they can pick his tag team partner in the match against him. And he says he says that Maxwell Jacob Friedman owes him a match. Basically offers him his watch, his shoes, his car, and $50,000 to wrestle him. Next up was a cool Dark Order promo. I really like that. Really like what they have going on here. I got Are You One with the Dark Order? You gotta watch. Just look that up on YouTube. Are You One with the Dark Order? So the next one was Nyla Rose versus Leva Bates. Nyla had an awesome entrance. Everybody had an awesome entrance. I think I wrote that down for pretty much everybody's entrance. The entrances are really neat. Nyla basically destroys both her and Peter Avalon, the librarians. She wins with a beast bomb. And then, excuse me, after the match, she comes back with another second beast bomb after the bell. And then Shayna, I guess is her name, comes out to leave his aid. Then Nyla gets a table out, sets that up in the ring. See, now I don't know if this was Comcast's fault or if it didn't, if they completely edited it out for whatever reason. But she gets the table and she puts the ref through it. And you can see Britt Baker looking onwards, and they did a little bit of a spoof. I seen it on their actual social media, the video of it. It was pretty funny because they looked over her and they go, oh look, it's Britt Baker looking on. You know, she's Adam Cole's girlfriend. You know, kind of like a nod to what they did at NXT TakeOver. Instead of like announcing her as Britt Baker, a wrestler herself, you know, they announce her as, oh, that's Adam Cole's girlfriend. I think that's what the little jab meant, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was pretty funny. A lot of people got their buns burnt about it on the internet. But, yeah, so she puts the ref through it, and then she picks up Shane and then puts her through it. I just hope that whatever they do with Leva, she comes back, and, you know, definitely a full-time roster member, whatever you want to call it. Not full-time, like something they do with something with, instead of just come out and not really get much offense or whatever. Basically the same stuff she did at NXT, whereas she was background filler, and then she'd come in and gotten really over with the crowd, and then basically formed a, you know, connection with the crowd, and they kept bringing her back because of how over she was with the crowd, but didn't really do anything with her. So I'm kind of like hoping that they didn't just scoop her up just to not do something with her. I want to see her in a key, you know, as an integral factor of the women's division of All Elite Wrestling. I definitely feel like she needs to be a part of that and not just a side piece. She's not macaroni and cheese, she's a whole chicken, my friend. That's how I feel about that. You know, I'm not trying to bash on AEW or anything, but like I said, I hope, well, all their women are going to play a part, and even this one coming up, I didn't know too much about her, the number one contender for the women's title, Sheeta. She impressed me, but like I said, Leva is definitely one that should be playing a key part in the women's division of AEW. Alright, that moves us on to the Chris Jericho segment, where he announces that everybody should get out of 2016. He has a list, but it's not the list. It is the Lexicon of Jericho. And on this Lexicon of Jericho, you basically have a list of people that he doesn't want to wrestle in 2019. And on that list was probably about 20 times, if not more, Jon Moxley. So, pretty sure we'll see Jericho versus Moxley here soon. He said he was contractually obligated to have one more match in 2019 on the last AEW Dynamite. Now, at this point in time, Jurassic Express interrupt his little schmeal here. This was a really fun segment. Introduced me a lot to Jurassic Express. I knew Marco and Jungle Boy both, like through GCW and stuff like that. Other promotions that they were on, I think Marco did a little bit for MLW. I really enjoyed his stuff. Even though he was a smaller guy, I never really viewed him as any kind of less on the roster just because he was smaller or whatever, but it was pretty fun to watch. There's a lot of stuff that not a lot of the people, even in the lightweight cruiserweight division, can do. I feel. But basically, Jungle Boy challenges Chris Jericho. Jericho says he couldn't last 10 minutes in the ring, and Jungle Boy says, "I know I can last 10 minutes in the ring." Kind of like spat on here, and then it's announced that December 18th will be the final AEW Dynamite, and they'll wrestle then. Basically, they kind of headed towards that, but I think they announced it later on. I think that's how that went. But up next was a very good match, which was Chris Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. Oh, I didn't butcher that first name there. Commentators put Chris Statlander over huge. She's one of our local, or was one of our local circuit girls that we had seen, or were seeing quite a bit of come around. At first she was wrestling at Eclipse Wrestling with the Beach Bums, and she was doing a series of promos with them. I thought that was entertaining. That was pretty funny. This goes on like I tell you that Cheetah was the tells you that Cheetah was the number one contender. They come on to tell us that Nyla Rose was suspended for her actions from earlier on, in the evening with the double powerbomb and whatnot. They say that Cheetah has 11 years of experience, where Chris Statlander has only 3. Chris had a neat little moonsault flip off of the apron. Best stuff happened during the picture-in-picture. Like I said, I didn't really like the picture-in-picture because a lot of stuff happens. There's no audio. You can see it happening, but you got the commercial playing right on top of it, so it's kind of like one of those things where you gotta like filter out the commercial and focus on the wrestling, because a lot of the best wrestling of the match is happening during that time, or important things are happening like in between matches that you're getting to see, but you're not going to hear like exactly what's going on with them. I hope I expressed that well enough that you understood what I was trying to get at. She'd had a nice running knee off of the apron to Statlander. Oh, it was announced that the Butcher and the Blade, in the middle of the match, it was announced that the Butcher and the Blade chose Cody Rhodes' tag team partner, which was QT Manuel. But on to the rest of the match. There was a nice Shining Wizard from Sheeta for a 2 count. Then Statlander wins with their Big Bang Theory. After that match, after the bell rings for that one, we had seen Awesome Kong and Brandy come out. Now Brandy says that her and Kong are the Nightmare Collective, and they asked Chris Statlander to pledge herself to them, but a fan or worker, whatever what you want to call it, in the ring, on the outside of the apron. Excuse me, holy moly! On the ringside, basically takes tribute and offers herself up instead. Now they cut her front ponytail off, and then they cut back ponytail off. And then Brittany kind of like awkwardly shaved her head with a razor in some spots, and then they just sloughed her hair out and walked her up the ramp. Like I said, all this happening picture in picture while the commercials are going on. And Popeye's Chicken is blasting me in the face about that chicken sandwich while I'm trying to pay attention to what the hell's going on, and I can't pay attention to why Brandy's awkwardly shaving this woman's head while I'm getting Popeye's Chicken in my face. Getting that chicken from Popeye's. Right in my face, man. I can't pay attention to two things right directly at once. I can put my tablet on and play a game at the same time, but I can't pay attention to two things on the screen going on at the same time. But, yeah, I guess that moves us on to, SoCal Uncensored's Christopher Daniels versus Pentagon Jr. This was another top-notch match of the week contender match. Daniels immediately crossbodies Pentagon to the outside. There's a brawl outside of there, and then they work their way back into the ring there. AEW is super high on picture-in-picture. I noted it here, like I said. I already gave you my spiel on that. While NXT seems to have done away with it, or WWE, or they were supposed to do away with the picture-in-picture thing. I don't know what was going on with that. I heard that they were supposed to do away with that, or at least on Fox. I don't know, something like that. But this match was all Pentagon Jr. for the most part, and then Daniels had he was still kind of injured and rehabbing, they were noting. Like I said, they like to make announcements mid-match. Next week will be Santana and Ortiz versus the Young Bucks in a Texas street fight. That'll be pretty neat. It looked like a really weird Arcadia moonsault from Daniels, and they played up to the fact that he was still injured when that move happened there. I don't know what happened there. I didn't see nothing. Ray confuses the referee after the Daniels hit his finisher. Pentagon comes in, hits the low blow, and package pile driver for the win. Next up we have the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny on here, introducing themselves. They said they're tired of Cody, and they're here to basically cut the head off the snake and cause destruction. And as we learn in the promo from Maxwell Jacob Friedman, he actually paid the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny to do this to old Cody Rhodes. So, continuity. Next up we have another very good match. Jon Moxley versus Joey Janela. Another note of loving the entrances, and I like actual pyro, not just on special occasions, but for every night of television. I really like it. It gives that match that oomph, that this is important. I don't know. I didn't really explain to you why pyro's important when basically we've been seeing matches with pyro since, the 80s, 70s? Anyways, Moxley still enters from the crowd, I note. Yeah, he was the most over with the crowd during this show. He was probably the crowd's most liked. Joey Janela shows a different kind of style in this match, almost like a mat technician based, and it goes on that way for quite some time of the match. Then you get a nasty little tornado DDT on the ramp by Janela. It's probably one of my most favorite matches of Joey Janela's. And I did watch a lot of his GCW stuff and, Spring Break, whatnot. But this definitely feels like one of my most favorites of his. Then he dives on and puts Moxley through the Timekeeper's table. Moxley does win this with a paradigm shift off the top rope onto the buckle, and then he hit the second one in the ring. Of course, Jericho's music hits. He comes down from the crowd like I guess Moxley did to him last week to have a little inner circle showdown, stare down to end the episode of All Elite Dynamite. Now, right here, just to put it out there, this was enough for me to continue watching All Elite Wrestling even next week. And now I will cover NXT of this week very briefly before you guys leave me to my loneliness. Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. NXT opens with Pete Dunne. Was actually Killian Dane was out in the ring and he had an open challenge and Dunne accepted, so we get right away Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane, which is really cool. I note that Dane's crossbody is actually called the Divide. Dunne still playing off injuries that he sustained in his leg from War Games and Survivor Series, so Dane had most of the offense. Dunne come back directly after the commercial break though with a nice little flurry. Dane's stupid senton move is actually called the Belfast Blitz, so we have two of his moves, the Divide and the Belfast Blitz. Of course we see Dane winning actually after the top rope slam. Dunne climbed his back and he had climbed up to the top rope and kind of like cannonballed himself on top of Dunne for the win there. After that we see the Undisputed Era come out and they call out Finn Balor. But basically Keith Lee comes out. The Undisputed Era jump him. Ciampa comes out, Tommaso Ciampa comes out and evens the odds. We move on to Xia Li versus Shayna Baszler. This was a nice match, nice striking out of Xia, and there was she kept up with basically Shayna in like a MMA style striking versus grappling kind of speed type match. It was really neat to see. Like I said, Shayna grounds her with submissions. It was decent offense from Xia though. Very colorful offense. Baszler though does tap her out after an awesome powerbomb near fall from Xia. After this we have Chris Hero. A little promo for Chris Hero basically saying that he was in the UK and that's basically where he's been for the past couple of months. I was wondering that myself, where he was, why he wasn't on our NXT TV. But I guess he's not the knockout artist, or he is the knockout artist, but he's also a knockout hero. But now he is also a wrestling genius. So basically, we move on to a match that is the Forgotten Sons, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake versus Adrian Alana and Leo Ruff. This is basically a really quick squash match for the Forgotten Sons. For them to beat up some evolved talent, I guess. Then Riker, after the match, had an incredible chokeslam outside of the apron. That's probably my actual move of the week. Just to see, that was crazy. But next we see Rhea Ripley versus Tegan Nox. A lot of them putting over the fact that Mia Yim was called a hood rat by Tegan Nox. So Tegan Nox got her comeuppance because basically Mia Yim come out there and beat the snot out of her. Tegan Nox runs her off. Baszler attacks Rhea Ripley. And Jasmine and her henchwomen there basically help her attack Rhea Ripley and choke her out. Baszler tells Rhea Ripley that she gets a title shot on December 18th. That's going to be nice. And we move on to Cassius Ohno versus Matt Riddle. Ohno has been wrestling in the UK, like we have said. Basically using a lot of different holds and new wrestling persona, new wrestling style from him. Not completely new, but a lot more smart moves because he's a wrestling genius now. This was definitely a big hitter for my match of the week. Love Ono's new offensive moveset. Ono keeps up with Riddle with nice quick transitions and hits him with a final flash and a floating bro. And still gets a 2 count. He was hit with a final flash and a floating bro. Excuse me. Riddle does win with a bro Derek though. And we move on to Kushida. Kushida versus Ray Mendoza. We're supposed to be, but Cameron Grimes comes out. He runs up and double stomps Mendoza mid-entrance, and it actually just becomes Kushida versus Cameron Grimes, which was another hard, heavy hitter for my match of the week. It was a great match. We had a crazy dive top rope to the outside by Grimes to Kushida, a nasty looking move where it looked like Grimes almost dislocated his shoulder. This match was fast-paced and hard-hitting action, and by the time I got done writing moves, it was kind of basically over, as we see Kushida win after countering a rolling powerbomb. And we move up to the Undisputed Era versus Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Dominik Dijakovic. Dijakovic was the real MVP of this match, basically played out most of the match. Tommaso Ciampa does come in super hot here, as it was good teamwork from Team Ciampa, and this match was very good teamwork from that team. They've been working good, so they've grown a bond to work with each other very well over the past couple of weeks, I feel. We had a funny little Keith Lee sneaking up behind Finn Balor here, and basically shows you just how good Keith Lee is, and he's really good in this match. And like I said, he snuck up behind Balor, choked him out, but Balor does take out Adam Cole and takes out the ref. This match was basically won though when Lee hit a jackhammer on Adam Cole for the win. Hopefully we see. Oh, it was announced that it will be the number 1 contenders match. You have to check it out. I forget. I think it was Keith Lee, Finn Balor, and Tommaso Ciampa, if I'm not mistaken, which I probably am. But basically, I'm going to finish that up, and I'm going to leave you guys in peace here with a short episode of the Duke's Dive, where I actually plugged nicely Eclipse Wrestling, December 7th, 1000 Howard Ave, Building 2, Altoona, Pennsylvania. Get yourself down there. If you want to purchase tickets online, go to phxshows.com. Awesome time. We always have a great time up at Eclipse. So I actually plugged Eclipse twice. I covered AEW and I covered NXT. And it's not the end of the week. So be blessed. As blessed as an early Duke's Dive. And I'll see you next week, where we will also cover AEW and NXT. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the Duke diving off. Goodbye. I'm going to do that every week now. Why not? This is the Duke diving off. Might sound stupid, but it's probably stupid. And it definitely is stupid. This is the Duke diving off.